don't either. I don't really care. I'm too tired to hear anything.
I just sell it all the time. I'm usually playing top 4 or something.
Yeah.
Past 10.
I hope we don't have a test in here today.
Do we have a student speaker today?
Probably. Why'd I come? I didn't have to.
I'm just gonna sit here and pretend like I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm too tired.
I didn't do this.
Just like any church, big organization, anything you get into, people are going to have different feelings about what's perfect. How do we do this? How do we accept the template? What do they have to do to do it? Can they opt out at some later date? Not a problem.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about types of reasoning today. So if everyone could, pay attention. Okay. Guys, pay attention, please. As a teacher, I get frustrated with the lack of listening my students do. I understand that the material I'm teaching may not be the most interesting, but I have committed my time to teaching them about what I know. I would really love if they were engaged in the lesson. According to the University of Minnesota Duluth Handbook, listening should be treated as a challenging mental task. When students are on their phones, slouching, or not making eye contact with me, I know they are distracted. I really wish there was a way to get my students to listen more effectively.
Did you say effective listening?
Yes, I did.
Here's an awesome easy button. It's just as easy as clicking it, and your students will be effective listeners just like that.
Wow, I need to give this a try. Guys, can you please pay attention? Maybe I should give this effective listening button a try. Okay, so types of reasoning. Can anyone tell me one of the types that we talked about? Maya?
Yeah, didn't you mention earlier that one of the types of reasoning is inductive reasoning?
Yeah, really good, very good. There's also one other type that's deductive, but inductive is the one we'll talk about now for a little bit since Maya mentioned it. Thanks for listening.
Did you see the transformation in the listening of those students after the effective listening button was used? According to Judy Brownwell, the listener carries 80% of the responsibility for effective communication. So let's hear from some of the students on their change in listening skills after their teacher used the effective.
Dr. Nichols' 10-part listening skills has work at listening at number 6. And I once read an article done concerning listening competence in the classroom by Bodie, Sear, Pence, Rold, and Honeycutt. And they stated in their results that overall participants indicated that when others in initial interactions, for instance, nod, show interest, maintain eye contact, ask questions, demonstrate understanding, do not interrupt, and smile, they are likely to view them as competent listeners. I think this demonstrates how important it is to be attentive to what you're listening to. It gives you a better chance of maintaining concentration, and it provides an impression to the speaker that you're effectively listening. I find that when I come to class tired, and I start to slouch in my chair and stare straight ahead, I find myself not listening as well. It's not enough to look like you're listening. In order to truly display effective listening skills, you need to use your body to convey your attention and intent to understand the message that the speaker is trying to get across. Active and conscious listening not only benefits you as a listener, but it can also give the speaker a chance to express themselves better and can give them a sense that the information they're giving out is important to the listeners. I do this by maintaining eye contact with the speaker, having an attentive posture that leans towards them to understand what they are saying, and occasionally giving a nonverbal affirmation by nodding or smiling to show that I understand what is being said.
Dr. Nichols' listening is a 10-part skill, states judge content and not delivery. I know that judging content and not delivery of the speaker is important. Poor listeners think, will this ever end? While good listeners react differently and think, I want to figure out more of what the speaker knows. Listeners that judge content, not delivery, use their own understanding of personal experiences. According to Seller and Beale, understanding is something labeled comprehension and simply means that you assign meaning to a stimuli that you hear. It is important not to judge a speaker by physical appearance. The reason is that some of the most knowledgeable people are older and probably don't dress in today's style. Try not to let mannerisms and other things besides context affect your focus on content. Before even the speaker speaks, don't put your expectations too high because that will lead you to getting distracted. Focus on the speaker's words and examples. If you don't understand a word, either raise your hand and ask the speaker, or write it down and look it up in a dictionary later.
I chose to focus on Skill 7 of the Listening is a 10-Part Skill by Ralph Nichols, Resisting Distractions. As a student, we have to resist distractions in the classroom and when doing our homework. In the classroom setting, the most common distractions that we face are talking to a friend in class, using our cell phones, and being on your laptop computer. By resisting these distractions, I found I gained more information in class by being more attentive and being able to paraphrase the speaker's message. According to Caroline Rester, paraphrasing is a useful way of understanding the whole message. On a more personal setting, doing homework, the most common distractions that we face are listening to music or talking and hanging out with roommates. The best way to combat these distractions would be to go to the library, but this isn't always possible, so to resist distractions, I found that closing my door, turning off music or TV shows that might be on is usually enough. By doing these small things, I found that listening more effectively and resisting distractions makes us as students much more efficient.
See how great of a job the effective listening button did for these students and their listening skills in the classroom? I bet you're wishing now that you had one of these awesome effective listening buttons. Well, guess what? You can. By calling 1-800-555-1234, you can have an effective listening button too. It can all be yours for one simple payment of $19.99. And if you call within the next 10 minutes, it can be yours for one simple payment of $9.99. So call now to get your effective listening button to improve your communication.